So let's rethink it collectively as a team. Let's rethink it around the big five. Let's see if I've got this in the right order. Yes, the big five. So fundamental change number 1 of 5. We have the best brands. Why do we have the lowest pay? The majority of people that work in our business in the United States earn just a nudge over the minimum wage. That's not right. That's not right. Best brands should have best pay. We have to change that. Thing number 2, the majority of people that work in our company are part-time. In fact, about 80% of the people that work in stores are part-time. Now, has anybody read the book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell? Yeah, so Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, talks about building expertise, how to become expert at something you could do with 10,000 hours of expertise. So maybe to sell a bra, you don't need 10,000 hours of expertise, but maybe you just need 1,000. Well, if you're working part-time and you're on minimum pay, how much of an expert do you think you will be? Not much. The majority, I underline it, the majority of people in our company are working part-time for a handful of hours for a minimum wage. It cannot be right to have the best brands and to operate that way. Thing number 3, I'm embarrassed to say that our turnover is in excess of 100%. In fact, in many of our businesses, turnover rates are between 200 and 300%. So if turnover is 200%, that means the life expectancy of this person that's come to work for us on minimum wage plus a bit, maybe working 12 hours a week, is 6 months. That's how we run our company. It's amazing. It's unbelievable to me that we have such power in our brand, given that we have this dark secret. It's what it is. It's embarrassing to have got to the year 2014 and to look back on ourselves and say, oh my goodness, how on earth did we get this so completely upside down? Thing number 4, we don't track individual sales. So when we ask our managers in stores, do you know who your best salespeople are? They say, sure, of course I do. Of course I know who the best salespeople are. They don't really, because we don't track whether or not they're actually performing. We think that they are because we think that they're busy, but we don't really know. And when we've started to measure individual sales, we've had some real surprises. People who are maybe a little bit on the quiet side that we thought were, not that engaged, actually can be little demons. They can be really in it. And some of the other people, well, empty vessels making most noise. So got to watch out for that. And finally, and this applies to all of us as well as all the people that work for us, there is not enough financial incentive in our selling model. Let me give you an example from, again, from the USA. So the T-shirt bra, the T-shirt bra? I might get this wrong. You can correct me if I get it wrong. T-shirt bra comes in 5 colors, 3 silhouettes, right? 2 bras. No? How many? 2 silhouettes of panties, 1 silhouette of bra, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's say 8 colors. So the day that I went into the store, the day that it had launched, so the set had just come down around at Eastern, an associate meets me in the front door and said, hi, can I help you? I said, no, I'm good. I'm all good. I know what I want. And I set about trying to find 3 colors of the bra for my wife and 2 silhouettes of panty. So I want 9 pieces, right? 3 bras, 2 panties, 9 pieces. And I get into it, and it's a little harder than I thought. So she goes, are you sure you're okay? I said, I'm not actually. Can you help me? She said, of course. So I say, I want the heather gray, I want the blue, and I want the pink, I think it was, I can't remember, the third color. So these are the 3 colors in these 3 items, 9 pieces. She goes, like her eyes light up, bingo, happy days. So I give her the size, and I say, I'm just going to nip and buy something in beauty. I'll be back in a minute. She goes, terrific. So off I go and do my shopping. And then I come back, and she has 5 pieces laid out for me, beautifully laid out. And so there's the heather gray with the matching, and 1 bra and 2 pants. So I said, that's wonderful, that's great. How about the others? I wanted the 9. She said, I'm sorry, we don't have them. Don't have the sizes. I went, really? This is the first day of launching this bra. Are you sure we don't have them? She goes, no, we don't have them. So I said, okay. She said, anything else I can help you with? So I said, no, not really. So I put them in the basket, and I go off to pay. Now, transaction ends there. So in all of our metrics that we think about in our company, I'm gold. Conversion, 100%. 1 customer, 1 transaction, 100% conversion. Average transaction value, well, the 5 pieces were probably $75. way above the average. I'm gold. Matchbacks, bra and panty, yep, tick, 2 of those in the bag, gold. What was the lady's name? Yep, I know her name. When I checked out, they asked me her name, got it. Every metric we track, terrific. I'm golden. I don't think that's good enough. Now, as it happens, what I did was I didn't go to the checkout. I decided I'd go and try a little harder on my own. So she went off and did something else, and I got down on my knees, and I went through the drawers, and I went to the tables, and I found the other 4 pieces. So the pieces were there. Of course they were there. It was the first day that we launched in the 3 most popular colors, and my wife is a regular-sized individual. You know, it's not hard. And so I walked out with the 9 pieces. The moral of the story, do you think the lady who's part-time on minimum wage plus $1, who'd worked in our store for probably 8 weeks, 10 weeks, do you think she might have known what was in the inventory? Do you think she might have tried just a little harder if she was being paid based on what she sold? I think so. I don't think it makes her a selfish individual. I just think people are more motivated by financial reward. If she was getting $1 for every bra that she sent, she wouldn't have sent me out with 5 pieces. She'd have found the other 4. Now, when I explain this story to people in our business, they say, well, we've got to work better on our training. You know, oh, well, tell us the name of that individual and we'll get to... No, she's terrific. She's better than the average. That's what we have. That is our staffing model that is described in these 5 points. That's what we have. That's what we've got to change. So, 3 reasons to believe why we can change it. And none of them are exclusively right. Here's the first. Container Store. Anybody shopped at Container Store? Few people have. Do you guys know what it is? Well, it's a very sexy store that sells empty boxes. Empty boxes. A lot of good stuff. All right. Well, you're all going to go today to Container Store. Container Store, is there a lot of emotional content in selling Tupperware equivalents? I don't think so. Is it hard to sell boxes that sell so? I wouldn't have thought so. The average sales associate in this business earns $47,000 a year. $47,000 per year. That equates to $25 an hour in the US. We pay 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Genius people, 16. The average person here gets $24 an hour. Do you think that people would rather work at Victoria's or rather work at Container Store? Here's another story. One day, a board director of ours was buying a pair of shoes in Nordstrom. And the lady who's serving him for the pair of shoes is doing an amazing job. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And our board director says, wow, you are born to be a shoe salesperson. You really love what you're doing. You must love it here. And the lady says, yeah. And he goes, what, really? You're born for this. You just seem like a natural. She goes, well, I've only been here about 6 months and I'm kind of still in mourning because I used to work for the best company in the world, but I had to leave. And he goes, no way. You know, who was it? Who's the best company in the world? She said, Bath & Body Works. So he said, oh, I know a thing or two about that business. And then he thinks, oh, God, maybe she was fired for stealing or something. Yeah. Reverse out of this conversation. So he goes, okay, just curious, why did you leave? She said, oh, well, I could earn $25 an hour here. So she'd worked for Bath & Body Works for 7 years, was probably a top-selling associate, but we don't track sales per associate, so we don't know. And we paid her what we paid her, and she has a family and children. She's got to put food on the table. The difference between earning $14 an hour and $25 an hour is life-changing. So good for her. Terrible. I'm embarrassed. My cheeks are going red. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about how many top talent we allow out of our grasp because we don't pay them properly. We don't know if they're good sellers, and we don't incent them for selling. It's all wrong. Story number 1. Try number 2. This is a not very good picture of Chipotle. Chipotle. I've never been in a Chipotle, so no. Is it? Yeah. All right. So Chipotle.
Go to the Container Store. They go to Chipotle.
Happy days. So Chipotle, we've been reading, and Laurie Kay helps me with this. We've been reading about other businesses and how they're getting after this idea of personal selling. Oh, I didn't tell you about Container Store. The other thing about Container Store, what do you think their staff turnover is? Probably low, right? Because they pay properly. Yeah, 6%. 6. Think how much more time they've got, their managers have got, their district managers have got, their regional managers have got to sell. because they're not interviewing all day long. They're not doing exit interviews. Their HR people are not just stuffed with, overloaded with all of these CVs and resumes coming in to read. They don't do any of that. The people that work there stay there. They stay there. 5% per year. That's it. Interesting. So on Chipotle, what we discovered about these guys, they had a few years ago, they had a store managers meeting. They got much like this with their operations talent. They got people together and said, we got this idea. We need to grow more store managers. They call them restaurateurs. We need to grow more people like you because you're the good people. And we're not seeing them. We're not seeing the level of talent at the next level down that we need. And we're worried about that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you all an incentive, store managers. Store managers probably earn 50, 60,000 a year, I don't know. They said, we're going to give you an incentive. Every one of your staff that gets promoted to be a store manager will give you $10,000. Pretty interesting, right? Imagine that. If we said that to all of your store managers, every person that works in your building, your store, that gets promoted, you personally will get a check for $10,000. Is that interesting? Well, the behavior that it changes is, and I don't say this to be rude, I say this for illustrative purposes, is those store managers went back to their stores, they looked around, and they said, well, none of you are going to get me the $10,000. Time to upgrade the talent, people. And they systematically, subconsciously, set about upgrading their talent so that they would have people working in their store that could learn from them and train so that they could get the $10,000 bonus. And within a year, Chipotle were appointing all of their managers, all of their restaurateurs from within. And the general level of their talent had improved significantly. Interesting. We should think about that. Third story out of 3 is within our own store. These are not the best photos of these lovely ladies you've ever seen. But these lovely, lovely, lovely ladies are really important to me. Really important to me. I'll tell you something. Les Wexner, top of the organization, founder, chairman, CEO, a lot of stuff on his mind. He knows the names of these 2 ladies. He knows how much they sell. He knows what their spar is. He asks me about them every other day. These guys are thought leaders for us. Now, you know, if you think about, any of you follow soccer, football? Nah, mediocre response. You do? All right, good. All right, well, choose any sport you like. If I said to you, what does the best soccer player in the world look like? You'd probably go, what's that? Yeah. You know, you might, I don't know, some of you would say he's probably really tall and really athletic. He probably looks like Gregory. And some of you may say, well, no, he's probably really close to the ground and lithe, and he probably looks like Adam. So the reality is the 2 best soccer players in the world right now, one of them is about the size of Adam, and one of them is about the size of Gregory. Forgive me, one of them's like 6'4" and very lanky. The other guy is short and stocky, 5'6", right? Messi's about 5'6", 5'7". You don't know what a soccer player looks like. You can't describe what a soccer player looks like. What does a top salesperson in Victoria look like? I don't know. I have no idea. And I think these 2 ladies say something about that. If I showed you those 2 pictures and say they're the 2 top salespeople in the world right now, in the world, they don't look like they should be. They're just ordinary people. Unless you're tracking sales, you couldn't possibly know.